Number 12. Some students are investigating the life cycle of the spotted salamander. They learn that these salamanders must live close to water and lay their eggs in water. After 20 to 60 days, the eggs hatch as larvae that must stay in the water until they mature into adult salamanders. The students infer that the life cycle of the spotted salamander is similar to the life cycle of the frog because both animals blink. Here we don't have a question, so we look at where did what they were asking us to do stop, and so it's this last sentence right here where it says the students infer that the life cycle of the spotted salamander is similar to the life cycle of a frog because both animals blink. So first off, it tells us that the spotted salamander is the animal and that they must live close to water because that's where they lay their eggs. So we know that they lay eggs in water, okay? They lay their eggs in the water. Then it says after about 20 to 60 days, the eggs hatch as larvae. So there's eggs, then there's larvae, and they must stay in the water until they are adult salamanders. So it's egg, larva, and then they become an adult, okay? So the larva also must stay in the water, but once they're an adult salamander, they can leave the water. The students infer that the life cycle of the spotted salamander is similar to the life cycle of the frog because both animals blink. So knowing this right here from what we read, let's read our answer choices and see if we can figure this out. F, have long tails and strong jumping legs as adults. Okay, they didn't tell us anything about long tails, and they didn't mention anything about jumping legs. So really, I would cross those out. I do not think that that's correct at all because they didn't talk about those things. And we know that salamanders, I don't think they jump. They usually have short legs. And so if they jumped, they would need long, squatty legs. But we know that salamanders have those short legs and they look kind of like lizards. So they wouldn't have strong jumping legs. They do have tails, but they didn't really talk about that, and we know they don't have jumping legs. They live near water and produce larvae with wings. Okay, they didn't see anything about larvae with wings, so that is out of the question. They did talk about living near water and producing larvae, but a frog life cycle, if we remember, it's the egg, it's the tadpole, it's the froglet, okay? And then it's the adult frog with all his big legs, okay? And that's the cycle. So there is no larva here. It's egg, tadpole, froglet, adult. And we could even label these egg, tadpole, froglet, and adult frog. Okay. So no larvae with wings. Lay eggs in water, which hatch into larvae that live in water. Okay, the tadpole does live in the water. So maybe we could say that because it does. The tadpole does live in the water and they both lay their eggs in the water. Frogs have to lay their eggs in the water too. So lay eggs in water, yes, and hatch into larvae that live in the water, check. So maybe this is it. Then it says they produce offspring. Offspring is the children, okay? They produce offspring that hatch from eggs. They both hatch from eggs, okay? They lay waters. The spotted salamander hatches from an egg, so does the frog. But they look like adults. When the frog is first hatched, it's a tadpole. It does not look like adult. The frog doesn't look like adult as tadpole. So that would actually be incorrect. Therefore, our answer choice would be H. They lay eggs in water, which hatch into larvae that live in water. This is actually something that you learned in 3rd grade, and it's just coming back up. All right, so that is number 12, and our answer is H. Lay eggs in water, which hatch into larvae that live in water.